Hey guys, and welcome back to another great episode of Domino's in the Class, where we are reading Hello Neighbors Missing Pieces. We are on chapter 8, guys. We are almost halfway through the book, seems like. And this book is definitely getting interesting chapter by chapter. So we like to recap just in case you wasn't with us last time, and just in case you might have forgot because you had other things going on. So Jamir's gonna let you know what he remembers, because I think I kind of forgot too. So, Jamia, let us know what you remember.
So Aaron and Nikki went to the llama farm to go pick locks. They were trying to be stealth to the farmer llama doesn't see them.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I do remember that now.
And then Aaron and Nikki were trying to hide from the llamas because the llamas kept on following them, and they were like laying in the grass. And then Farmer Llama had came out and was calling the llamas by human names, like people names, saying Maggie, Frank, where are y'all? And then so yeah, they were trying to hide, and Nikki kept trying to poke Aaron so he could stop laughing. And then finally, the farmer called all the llamas in for dinner. And then once he did that, they went inside the barn to get some of the tin signs. And one of the tin signs said something about lovely llamas, and then they went home.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. But then I do remember that when he got home, that's when Nick's mom, he was trying to hide the tin sign. Well, he did hide the sign from her.
And then he said something about him having poison ivy, because I guess he had like red spots on him.
Mm-hmm. But he was hiding the sign because they took it from the barn. But also too, he don't know when or if they're gonna leave Raven Brooks, because they usually don't stay places long. And now he's starting to try to enjoy himself with his new friend. So he's like, oh my goodness, we might leave. I definitely remember that part. All right, guys. So now we're gonna get started on chapter 8. And let me see. I think I'm going to start reading this time first. And then we'll let Jamir and then Jalea. Alright, so by late July, we picked our way through most of the locks at the Golden Apples factory. I've gotten almost as good as Aaron, but I don't feel the need to tell him that. He already knows. Most of the time, I think he's glad about it. But sometimes, like today, I think maybe he's jealous. Imagine that. A kid jealous of Nicholas Roth, the new kid, the Narfinator, the one who knows every Twilight Zone episode by heart. Thanks, Dad, and every element on the periodic table. Thanks, Mom. The one who likes sushi better than cheeseburgers and likes girls who are taller than him and thinks Talking Heads is still the best band there ever was. I don't care what anyone says. You planning to bust that lockdown this century, or should I start rationing food? Aaron says behind me. Yeah, he's jealous. I told you to eat your breakfast. I say in my best mom's voice, eat this, he says, leaning in to punch me in the shoulder. But I spring the lock just in time to swing the door open. And he stumbles through and lands squarely in a pile of bubble wrap packing.
It seems we've found the shipping department, period. I laughed so hard I think I'm going to rupture something, comma. And eventually Aaron laughs too, period. Well, nothing to see here, comma. I say, shoveling a box of packing peanuts aside, period. Not so fast, comma. Aaron says, mesmerized as every human on earth is by the simple act of popping a sheet of plastic bubbles. Once we exhaust an entire row of bubble wrap, we both are really hungry, and we make our way back to the room that used to be the elephant's graveyard of electronics. Before we picked it clean, now we refer to it as the office. We left an operating TV and VCR. And thereafter, we discovered that the generator that powers the conveyor belt power electricity for some of the second floor offices.
Talk louder.
Offices as well. Aaron's amassed a sizable library of movies thanks to an obsession he has about recording them when they air. His timing for catching the best movies is
freakishly
good.
Talk louder.
Good droll in a couple of cushy executive chairs pilfered from the nicest offices, and we have our very own media room. Aaron rummages around in a 50 filing
cabinet
and pulls out a bag of cheese crackers and a couple of sodas.
You seriously have rations? I say, tearing into the crackers. I pause for a second when I hear skittering behind the wall beside me. Great. Now the rats know we have crackers. I like to be prepared, Aaron says. The end is nigh. He laughs a ghoulish laugh, and I roll my eyes, and things feel normal again. As normal as they can be around Aaron. That's why it feels like the right time to ask him about how everyone acted when he walked into the gamer's grotto at the square. It's been a few weeks, but I haven't been able to shake their memory. I went clothes shopping with my dad, I offer. Sounds riveting, he says. It was alright. A kid named Enzo hooked me up with some pretty cool stuff, I say, easing into what I really want to ask him. Aaron doesn't say anything though. He just fiddles with the metal tab on his soda can.
I think he said he knows you. I say trying again. This time, Aaron looks up. He doesn't know anything. Just like that, I've hit a nerve. Instead of backing off, I decide to press on it. Yeah, so what's up with the way everyone seems? I don't know. He eyes me carefully. Weird around you, I say, but that's not really what I want to say. I want to say scared around you. I want to ask him why I'm not afraid of him. I want to ask him if that makes me a chump, the would-be victim of a C-list horror movie. You didn't kill a cat or something, did you? I ask, and I don't know how to follow that up. So I say, 'cause I like cats. Aaron looks at me like the aliens have already arrived, like I'm their alien spawn. Like I have tubes for ears and antennas for eyes and a long forked tongue that I use for catching and eating the human race I used to be a part of. Why would I kill a cat, he says. And his question lays bare how stupid my question sounds. I don't know, I say lamely. Enzo stopped hanging out with me because he'd rather play video games, Aaron said quietly, wiggling the tab of his soda can until it comes off. He flicks it across the room into an old wastebasket.
He doesn't have to say anymore, I can hear every single word he left out. Enzo would rather play his expensive video games that his successful dad can buy him because his dad has a job and that job isn't going away. For it's yet one more thing I can't figure out how to bring up with Aaron, that his dad is always around, even during the day, like how my dad is around all day when he's between jobs. There are reasons why the Enzo of the world don't hang out with the Aarons and the Nickies of the world. But they don't have to be good or, or reasons or fair reasons, Spirit. But there are always reasons, Spirit. Too bad, comma, I think, Spirit. In those scene, okay, Spirit, I let out a massive
massive
Belch.
that in
Echoes.
echoes across the empty factory floor, Spirit. I don't even like video games that much, comma. I say, Spirit. It's a humongous lie, and Aaron knows it, comma, but for the first time all day, comma, he looks relaxed.
Talk louder.
He looks relaxed, comma, like a tiny bit of a 12-year-old. He has started to sweep back in. Later at Aaron's house, though, the lightness that seems to free Aaron of some massive
burden. Talk louder.
Massive burden that afternoon disappeared once again under the weight of his family. Period. Everyone in the Pearson's house is in a bad mood. Period. I thought it was just his mom, comma, who met us at the door. Period. Then floated away without saying a word. Period. Then, after taking too much time removing my rat poop shoes and placing them outside the door, comma, I lost track of Aaron and practically ran straight into Maya in the hallway. Period. She was looking over her shoulder, and when she turned and saw me, period, comma, she jumped back about a foot.
Jeez, Nikki, don't be such a creeper. I'm not. I have to go, she said, hurrying out the door with one more furtive glance over her shoulder. Not at me, but behind me. I turned to see what she was looking for, but all I saw were the shadows that lie in the twists and turns of the Pearsons' house. Now, as we sit in Aaron's room tinkering with the lock on an old chain we scrounged from a construction site, I wait for Aaron to say something. Anything. Because we've been sitting in here in dead silence for over an hour. My parents got a letter from the school. I have my class scheduled, but I don't know who any of my teachers are, so it's pretty much meaningless. Aaron grunts. I had a life sciences teacher at my last school, I say. She had this thing about rabbits. Like, she had about a dozen at home, and she was constantly worrying about them. Sometimes she even brought them to class because she was afraid they'd be lonely. But I always kind of thought it was more so she wouldn't be lonely. So yeah, I thought that was weird. I clear my throat. Aaron stares out the window.
The alien overlords came to see me last night. They brought me aboard their vessel and threatened to melt my brain into soup unless I promised to become a secret alien agent and share top secret human intelligence with them. Yup, Aaron mutters, still staring out the window. So then you'll help me, huh? Become an alien human double agent? Man, what are you talking about? What's up with you? You've been out of it ever since we left the factory, I say. Aaron looked back out of the window. I'm about to give up and go home when he says, have you ever thought that maybe you were... What? Nothing. Never mind, Aaron says, looking down. What? Like a merman? No. I've never thought that. Maybe I was a merman. I mean, I like swim and all. I'm not half bad at it either. There was this lake near. Aaron chuckles, despite himself. Weirdo. Now that, yeah, I thought I was a weirdo before. Often, actually. Aaron finally looks at me. Have you ever thought that you were bad? It sounds like a simple question. I know it should have a simple answer.
But Aaron and I both know it's not that simple. For I meant we played pranks on people. Period. I think that's probably not upstanding since it good, comma, I say, comma, mom's refrain of using my powers for good. Once again, pushing its way into my mind. Period. No, but I mean really bad, comma. Aaron says, comma, looking back down the floor, period, my drain washes over me, comma, the one I have practically every night, but try not to let myself remember during the daytime, the one in the store surrounding by food line up on the shelves, period. The room is dark, period. I'm alone, period. And even though I have no idea why, comma, I know beyond a doubt that's it's my fault I'm there, period. I think I did something bad once, period. I say it because I'm saying it, period. I know I'm saying it, period.
No, start over.
I say it before. I know I'm saying it, period. It's like I'm hearing myself talk from across the room. Period. You don't know. Aaron acts, looking hard at me now, comma, searching me for a lie. Period. I don't remember. I say a truth I've never admitted to anyone before. Period. It's just his dream I have. Period. It charges.
It changes.
It changes sometimes, but I always wind up in the same place, comma, like I was put there or something. Period. So how do you know you did something wrong? Aaron asks. Period. I think about it for a minute, and when my brain quiets to a whisper, all I hear is my grandmother's voice. Period.
Good job.
You stop that wandering, or one day you won't make it home. Because sometimes I go where I'm not supposed to, I say. Sometimes I go too far. Now we're both looking out the window, and I wonder what Aaron's bad dreams looks like, if he feels as alone in his as I do in mine. I don't think just because you do bad things, it makes you a bad person, Aaron says, after a long stretch of silence. All of a sudden, it occurs to me that I still haven't found out why Aaron was so weird about the Golden Apple amusement park last month. My mind is racing with thoughts of a prank gone awry. Could Aaron have done it? Could Aaron have done something to make the roller coaster that made it crash? But I stop myself before I get too far. Pulling a prank is one thing, but bringing down a roller coaster at 9 years old, it's not possible. But if he's not talking about that, then what is he talking about? What does make a person bad, then? I ask. Aaron shoves his hand in his pockets like he's embarrassed. Then, so quietly I can barely hear him, he says, being happy when bad things happen. I watch Aaron's face for any clues into what he could mean, but his expression is as flat as his tone. Then he looks at me and smiles. It's the old Aaron again, the one who planned a mission just for me to get a sign with my name on it, who carved a safe path through the town of Ravenbrooks just so I can get home safely with a 2x2-foot 10 measure. He's my friend, an actual friend. Whatever he did or thinks he did, I've got his back. I'm hungry, I say. Let's go get some tacos.
All right, guys, so that was the end of chapter 9. And were you listening? Were you reading? Because it's getting deep. So, we about to give you a short summary on what we feel like is happening. And please, guys, always know that you can comment down below and give us your thoughts and your opinions, because we would love to know, so we can talk about this together. Because like I said, it seems like it's about to get deep now. So, Jamia, let us know what was going on in the first beginning of chapter 8 so we can let them know what we think.
By the end of July, Nick and Aaron has picked through most of the locks of the Golden Apple Factory. Nick has gotten as good as Aaron, but Nick doesn't feel the need to tell him that, cause Aaron already knows. Most of the time, Nick thinks that Aaron is glad, but today, Nick thinks that Aaron is jealous.
So Nick thought it was crazy that Aaron was jealous of him. He's like, what, you jealous of me? Like, I'm the kid who likes sushi better than hamburgers and all this other stuff. He's like, ain't no way you could be jealous of me. So they make it their way to the shipping department, which is at the Golden Apple Factory. And this is where Nick kind of got the courage to ask Aaron about Enzo. So he's like, I went to the store just to like slide in. He's like, oh, I went shopping for clothes. Like, I met this kid named Enzo. And it kind of got, weird. And Aaron's like, Aaron's like not responding. He's like, that's cool. And Enzo's like, Nick is like, why don't you and Enzo hang out? And he's like, well, Enzo likes to play expensive video games. Basically saying that his dad has
a better job
and a stable job that doesn't have to change, different than Aaron and Nick's dad, who is always home, because Aaron's dad is always home. He's the neighbor. And so
but even though he said that, that's what he said about the video games, but then Nick was trying to say, still wanting to ask him like, well, how do you feel about cats? Because basically he just wanted to ask him where Enzo had implied that he kills pets. And he asked him, what about cats? And Aaron didn't answer him either.
But and he's like, why would you ask that question?
But before he could say that, he said he let him know that he loved cats, because he wanted to kind of see, like, how was he going to respond? But he didn't respond. And then the most creepiest part probably would have been at the end when...
so they all went back to Mr. Peterson's house, and everyone was in a bad mood. So this
everybody
is where,
in the house, the mom, everybody.
And Nick had bumped into Maya, and she's like, hey, get out the way. Like, so finally now they go into Aaron's room. And this is where...
And then that's when he said...
do you think I'm a bad person?
Oh, yeah, right.
Like, what makes you a bad person?
What makes somebody a bad person?
Right.
And then he says, well, when you laugh, you find it funny, or when you laugh when bad things happen?
So Nick was saying, even if you do bad things, you're not always a bad person.
Right.
But this is where Aaron was like, then Nick, I think Aaron asked Nick, what does make you a bad person?
Right.
And this is where Nick replied, if you are happy when bad things happen. And
then that just made you think, because it's like, well, what is that supposed to mean? Like, who even says that?
But Nick was being a good friend. He was just like, regardless of what Aaron does,
that he's going to support him.
He's going to have his back.
Like a lot of people tend to do, because he says that's the old Aaron. That's what he called him. He said, he looks at him and he refers to him as the old Aaron, hoping that maybe he found a new friend. Because my thing is, I think he just want to see the good in him, because again, this is probably the only friend that he's had while moving from house to house. So in his mind, he wants to make everything all right, just like he hopes his dad stays employed long enough for them to stay there. So guys, how did you feel about him saying that, though? I just thought that was really extra.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like when he said that, it's okay to smile, like when bad things happen. That's evil.
Yeah.
So
that is definitely a definition, I would say, of a bad person.
Of evil.
Yeah.
Because who enjoys infliction of any type of thing that's considered
any
bad?
pain, any
if
harm.
you can use the word bad to describe the incident, terminology would be what I was trying to say. However, that's too big of a word for what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, if anything happens and it comes to your mind that it's considered bad, or bad is anything that comes to your mind, and someone's finding it amusing, that's evil. That's definitely evil. Because even though it's not happening to the person, they're noticing that something bad is happening and they're enjoying it. Nah, that's not cool at all. So I don't know how it's gonna go when he's already admitted to even having those characteristics. that I'm a little bit more now concerned for Nick and his gullible ways, because he's definitely eager to have a friend, and he's not looking to, any consequences.
Right. And one thing during this chapter, Nick had remember his mom saying, like, make sure the things that you're doing it for a good reason. So he was remembering that, but he was trying to push it to the back of his brain. So
well, that's why he kind of compared himself to, like, how could he be jealous of him, because he likes sushi over cheeseburgers, and the periodic tables, things like that, where he was just, aligning himself to be so much different.
Yeah. But Aaron's mom, Nick's mom is big on, like, use your gifts for good. So even, like, with the lock picking and the pranking and, like, some of that stuff.
And she's a teacher, so, she's not encouraging negativity. Well, we haven't heard her encourage any type of negativity. And we definitely see that Mr. Peterson is weird. So, yeah, guys, I don't know what to say. What you got to add? Anything? What do you want to say?
Yeah. I think the next chapter they're gonna that Enzo is gonna be friends with them again and play outside with them again, and Nick is gonna admit and tell them that he's the best pickpocket too.
I know we should hear some more from Maya, hopefully, because she was in the hallway when he ran into him, and she hasn't really had a big scene, but enough to put involved with that weird stuff with the father picking her up. And she just kind of was all the weird places. She was out there at the Golden Apples when they were there at the plaque. So hopefully we get to hear more about what she has to say, and maybe she can help us understand more about Aaron. And what does he really mean about when bad stuff happens, he finds it amusing, because nothing about that makes me laugh.
Right, and they mentioned it was late July and that Nick had got his schedule. So we're going to see...
about school.
About the class placement. Let's see if they all get a class together, because we're definitely going to see more of Enzo, and just seeing how that turns out with them trying to interact. And how they interact with
other kids,
definitely how they interact. Because they all go to the same school, they're all in the same grade. So it's definitely going to be a moment where some of that comes together.
And that's 8th grade this year, right?
Yeah, 8th grade.
That's a questionable year, especially for boys, honey. So, yeah, been there, done that, right? Got one still. You going to the 5th grade. And, dang, how long ago was that for Jared then? 15 years before that, Jared was in the 5th grade. They 15 years apart. So, yeah, been there, done that. And boys are mischievous anyway, you know what I mean? So I just hope that it turns out to be playful fun and not nothing serious connected to that girl's death.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna see, guys, and I hope you're here to join us. Like you said, Missing Pieces, get you a copy. If not, just wait on us, because we are ready to read it to you. Drop us a comment, let us know, and subscribe to our channel. And thanks so much for watching.